Hello and welcome back to What If Weekly, your Marvel Studios news roundup. We've got a lot of news to catch you up after the holidays and to start the year off right. Featuring Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, Daredevil Born Again, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and Avengers Secret Wars. I'm your host and fellow radioactive spider-bite victim, Encyclopedia, so let's get into it. Jeremy Renner has unfortunately celebrated his 52nd birthday in hospital after suffering blunt chest trauma early into the new year. The incident occurred whilst Renner was helping to clear roads near his house after a heavy snowfall. It appears a snowplow drove over his leg and crushed his chest. The actor is recovering from 2 surgeries but has appeared in high spirits in social media posts. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse has shown off a new poster confirming several of the characters we announced that weren't in the recent trailer, including Ben Reilly, Spider-Punk, and Spider-Man India. However, we did get confirmation that one of the fan-favourite characters from the original Spider-Verse film will not be returning, as Nicolas Cage will not be featuring as Spider-Man Noir. Do take note, however, that this is the second in a trilogy, so we could see him returning in the third. With Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania just over a month away, we expect a trailer to drop when this video is going up, January 9th. The film is also listed by Fandango as being 2 hours and 5 minutes long. The cast of Agatha Coven of Chaos continues to grow, with the return of WandaVision actress Deborah Jo Rupp, who joined Wanda and Vision for dinner in the first episode. Also joining the cast, which currently includes Aubrey Plaza, Sashir Zamata, and Joe Locke, is acclaimed actress Patti LuPone. LuPone previously played a witch in the underrated Penny Dreadful, and was unhappy to live next to witches in American Horror Story's 3rd season, which was subtitled Coven. Charlie Cox has said that Daredevil Born Again will start filming in New York this February, and will continue until December, a very long window for what is set to be the longest Disney Plus show to date at 18 episodes. I still believe this long production window will allow reshoots for Echo to fall under the radar, as that show, which has already completed principal photography and should be one of the least CGI using MCU productions, was implied to be releasing at the end of 2023, over a year after filming finished. Cox has also noted that fans shouldn't look to the Born Again comics run to look for clues as to where the new show goes, as the name is just one they thought made sense as the first Daredevil project made for the MCU. The number of people approached to reprise their previous Marvel appearances for Secret Wars continues to grow. We'd previously talked about Marvel Studios wanting Robert Downey Jr., Scarlett Johansson, and Chris Evans, as well as Tobey Maguire and Hugh Jackman. Now we can add 3 very interesting names. John Krasinski has been approached to play Reed Richards. This has nothing to do with Fantastic Four casting, so could signal that he's no longer in the running for that, but currently no members of the first family have actually been cast. Potentially joining him, both Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen have been approached to reprise their roles as Professor X and Magneto. It would seem that Marvel are trying to narrow down this legacy cast before work on the screenplay can continue, as the film will be heavily impacted by the inclusion of any of these characters. We still expect the end result of Secret Wars to be a wide MCU reset button, taking us into a newly created reality where many of the big players like Black Widow, Thor, Iron Man and Captain America are all alive and well, but played by new actors. Some plot lines and character arcs would continue across, but it's likely that it won't be until after this reset point that we see a full introduction of mutants and the X-Men. Deadpool 3 and any inclusion in Secret Wars will have to tide people over. While there were rumours that the Thunderbolts could have been searching for a mutant, it now appears that they could be on the hunt for adamantium, which, although mutant related, is an alloy of vibranium, so could be introduced on its own. However, now that the MCU has entered Phase 5, it will now see the implementation of a concept brought to us by Doctor Strange in Multiverse of Madness, Incursions, where due to the crazy multiverse breaking shenanigans that Marvel's heroes have been up to, different realities crash into and sometimes destroy each other. However, sometimes things fall through the cracks, and we could see some characters pop up in seemingly non-multiverse related films going forwards. Everything points right now to an incursion occurring this year in the Marvels, though how that affects the plot is unknown. Dave Bautista has confirmed the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 will be his last time playing Drax. The actor initially left the project when Disney fired James Gunn, but came back when Gunn was reinstated to finish the trilogy. Bautista has talked about not having to maintain his body to meet the shirtless expectations of the Marvel audience, and in fact wants to focus more on dramatic acting and improving himself. With Gunn headed over to helm DC Studios, this will be the swan song of the Drax that we know, with what remains of the Guardians team expected to return in Secret Wars, or at least a multiverse version of them. And finally, internal documents suggest that Marvel have 3 unannounced special presentations in the works, one of which is said to be Silver Surfer, while another is a potential Valentine's themed outing featuring She-Hulk standout couple Wong and Madison, and also to feature America Chavez. That's all the time we've got for this edition of What If Weekly. What do you think about the potential X-Men return in Secret Wars? How do you feel about the possibility that we won't get our own X-Men cast until the next saga? And who do you think will show up while filming goes on in Hell's Kitchen? I've been Encyclopedia, and until next time, stay strong, true believers.